Good evening, everyone. We will just wait a couple of minutes for others to join, but we will continue our discussion in a minute. Just give me a moment. Yeah. Namaskar, sir. Actually, I was occupied elsewhere, so my technical setup is yet to be done. How many of you guys have been here for, most of our sessions? You guys have been there for previous sessions, right? And you guys can hear me clearly, right? Okay, so you know that we try to make the sessions more interactive, so please feel free to use your mics. Okay, so should we guys start or wait a couple more minutes? It's up to you. I will need some responses, guys, and I also need to check if my uh, audio is working or not. Yeah, so should we start? Um,
Yes, sir.
okay, so good evening, everyone. Welcome once again. Uh, the course is Project Planning and Control by Professor Koshy Verghese at IIT Madras. This is related to week 8 contents. I am Vendgopal Mahajan, a PhD fellow at IIT Delhi. So we have been here for whole course now. We saw that this is mainly related to scheduling. We saw some stuff of monitoring and control in the last session. So we will continue that part a little and then discuss PERT, one of the old techniques, and also discuss a few latest developments in this case. So that's the plan. Earned value, PERT, latest developments, and summary. So before I move on, uh, okay, do you guys have any doubt related to any part of the course, any week's assignment, anything that you would like me to discuss? Any assignment, even week 8 assignment that has not been submitted yet. I mean, I won't be giving you the solutions, but we can have some outline discussion on those also. Any doubt, any queries, any point that you would like to highlight from your side? Okay, nothing at all. I mean, no new points to discuss. Um, how many of you are familiar with MS Project or such kind of scheduling tools, scheduling softwares? Okay, no response. How many of you are not familiar with such tools? Okay. Uh, so in the last session, we talked that maybe if I give you the demo of one of the softwares, it would be good. So are you still interested in that? Guys, you have to use your mics. I mean, I can't keep on checking the Google Meet platform. Yeah. So, are you so are you guys interested in some software demo? But it is going to take some time. Okay, that's the disclaimer from my side. Can I have a raise of hands of show of hands? How many are interested in having some software demo? Okay,
Yes, sir, I'm interested.
okay, yeah. So, so towards the end, we will try to create a whole project on MS Project. Okay, whole project. So you can see that there will be a lot of steps involved. So that may take some time, but it will go on faster if you keep on helping me on in making that project from scratch. Okay, so coming back to the course, you guys have pointed that you have got no doubts till now. So let's discuss earned value analysis. What do you mean by earned value analysis, or what is earned value? Anybody? Uh, okay. So last time we discussed something about project monitoring, right? How do you actually monitor if your project is on time, overrun? Is there some cost or time overrun, or it is behind the schedule, ahead of the schedule? How do you calculate that? How do you know?
On the basis of the progress.
So I can't hear you clearly. Can you please come closer to the mic or speak louder?
Sir, on the basis of the progress of the project,
Okay.
you can able to justify whether it is a over budget or behind or ahead schedule.
And how do we measure the project progress?
With the help of different DPR sheet, daily progress report.
Okay, with the help of various DPRs. So let's suppose if I give you 10 DPRs for the last 10 days,
Yes, sir.
uh, can you directly by reading the DPR, can you tell me if the project is on time or behind the schedule or ahead of the schedule?
No, sir. I have to basically compare my baseline with the progress.
Okay,
After that, only I can able to deliver that the project is behind or ahead.
okay. So there has to be some kind of baseline and you have to do some kind of comparison, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, what if you have got 10 different activities running? 5 of them are on time, 3 are behind the schedule, and 2 are ahead of the schedule. And then, if somebody asks you, what is the status of your project? What will you say?
Then I have to say that the three activities which are on time, and Same like sir, which are the behind the schedule. Then I have to indicate that particular activity only.
Okay. So let's say there is one a small panchayat building construction going on, and you have to report to your headquarter in Delhi or Chennai in the case of L&T. So you have to tell them that if your project is on time, behind schedule, so you would be giving them a 10-line summary, not one word.
Sir, I have to present my report on the basis of baseline.
Uh, okay, they are not interested in the report now, because after reading your report, they will have to deduce if the overall project is behind the schedule or ahead of the schedule, or is there some cost overrun, or are you saving the cost,
I
right?
think I have to share the BCWP values or earned value, PV, planned value, or AC, actual cost of the progress.
They are not interested in your values now, they are just interested in the verdict. It happens with the managers यार, definitely they are like काम हुआ है या नहीं हुआ है, काम कैसा चल रहा है, आगे चल रहा है, पीछे चल रहा है. अब उसका
Sir,
ब्रेकडाउन जो है वो
sir,
या
you tell, sir, you tell how to.
no, see, you have been using the right keywords. That's why I was prodding you to come, uh, I mean, to converge towards the topic. Because BCWP, BCWS, we will be calculating all those values.
Mhm.
I mean, PV, EV, all these we will do. Okay,
Yes, sir.
so there are different ways. Either some expert can say, okay, ये project तो पीछे चल रहा है और हम आगे चल रहे हैं. Or you can compare with milestones. Or one way is to compare in terms of cost. Like whatever the activities are going on, overall project, you unify it into one single term, and that is cost. Okay, so earned value analysis, इसमें भी हम यही करते हैं. We unify each and everything. We bring it to the cost. So that can be up. How many types of costs are involved? If we are talking about a single cost of a project, see, we can say that uh, let's say it be a 6-month project. So by end of month one, uh, let's say you have spent already rupees 1 lakh. So what other information do you need? See, this is your actual spent. Okay. Now you look at the baseline. So you know that my planned expenses this time were planned were 90,000 only. It can happen, right? Can it happen or not? That you planned to spend only 90,000 in first month and you have actually spent 1 lakh. Can it happen or not?
Yes, sir.
How did it happen?
Like if any activity or any circumstances arises in between the project progress, which causes extra incur on a particular activity, or if there is any variation,
Okay,
cost variation.
okay, cost variation, and okay, what else? I mean, see, बहुत सारे reasons हो सकता है ना कि हमारी cost ज़्यादा हो रही है. We have spent more. Maybe we have even completed more work. Can it be possible? I mean, end of the month you initially planned to deliver 9 units, but you already delivered 10 units. So in that case, your actual cost would also increase, right?
Yes, sir.
So that means planned is planned cost only one value is not sufficient. What else do you need?
Actual work performed.
Actual work performed and cost of actual work performed. So let's suppose that you performed cost of actual work performed is Uh, yeah, 95,000. So now there are three values that I will come back to this again. Okay, I will break it down to you in terms of units. So units, you planned for 9 units, but you have completed 9.5 units. Okay, but you have spent 1 lakh rupees. Now if I ask you, are we overspending or underspending? Actual work performed should have been 95,000 because 9.5 units have been complete, but we spent 1 lakh, so we overspent, right? Similarly, we planned for we planned that 90,000 or 9 units should have been completed in 1 month, but we completed more than that, right? So we completed more than that. That means we are ahead of the schedule. We can say that, right? See, I need your what I can
Yes,
say.
sir.
Yeah, you have to agree on this. Only after that we can move on to the numerical.
Yes, sir. We are ahead schedule.
Okay. And how did we check it? That
That.
actual work performed was more than what was planned,
Hmm.
right? We didn't
Yes.
compare it with what actual cost incurred. So we have got a couple of terms now. BCWS, budgeted cost of work scheduled, right? So I'll be taking the bigger terms, okay? I will not talk in smaller terms. Then what else? Budgeted cost of work scheduled and budgeted cost of work performed. So, okay, let me give you. Uh, that is your planned value. That is your earned value, so that it could be easier. And then actual cost of work performed. So actual cost. So right now, if you have to calculate schedule variance, how did we calculate it? Actual work performed minus planned, right? So
EV minus PD.
EV minus AC. Then what is cost variance? Work performed minus actually spent, right? So EV minus PV. Now we know the formula, we know the definitions. Let's try to calculate it. Uh, 4 activities to be completed in 6 months. You have been given monthly division. You have to prepare the S curve. You know what the S curve is, right? Okay, this is the baseline that we have to draw. So you have been given the data for each month. What have they asked? They have also given you monitoring at two different stages, at the end of third month and at the end of fifth month. What has been given? The actual performed activity and the total cost incurred. So what they've asked, comment the project status with respect to schedule and budget. What should be our first step? Do we need to make the network diagram in this case? I mean, till now in each and every question, the first step would have been to make the network diagram, right? Do we need to make it? Do you even have enough information to make the network diagram?
No, sir. We don't have the duration.
Yeah, you have been given the schedule and monthly schedule directly, so you don't need to worry about it. So first of all, prepare the S curve. So what does this S curve demand? It demands that what is going to be your total monthly cost. Okay, so cumulative for each activity. So if you have to calculate it, what will you do? For each month you calculate it. I already done it. See what has been done. 2000 into 15%, 300. 30% how much? 600, 800, 300. Similarly, you do it for all. What would this be? 600, 900, 1200, 300. So 4, 8, 16, and 8. What about this? 250, 350, and 400. So sum for each month 300. What will be for month 2? Yeah, 16. Similarly, 17 and 4, 21. Yeah, so this is the monthly cost that we got, and then from monthly you plotted the cumulative cost. So cumulative cost how much? 300 plus this value plus this right?
Yes.
So now if you have to plot the S curve, what should be the units we can take? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let this be in terms of 2000, right? So 4, 6, 8, and 10. That is kind of our limit. Okay, so at the end of month 1, it's 300. So somewhere around here. At the end of month 2, 19. At the end of month 3, 4000. Month 4, 6500. Right, so somewhere around here. At the end of month 5, 8800. And finally 10,000. So if you draw the curve, it would be somewhat like this, right? So what is this value from these three we discussed? PV, EV, and AV. So this is the plant value. Okay. Now what you have to calculate? Rest of the three values, EV and
Why 4,000 is planned value?
um, okay. So what does this table give you? This table gives you that in which month, which activity, what percent of that activity has been covered. So you know that total cost is 2000 and 15% is completed for activity 1 A in first month. So that means the how much are you planning to spend? You are planning to spend 300. Similarly in month 2, how much are you planning to spend? You are planning to complete 30% of activity A, 20% of activity B, 10% of activity C. So 1600. So by the end of month 2, how much total are you planning to spend? So you're planning to spend 300 plus 1600, 1900. So similarly, what have you planned for? You have planned that we would spend 4000 rupees out of 10,000. That was your overall amount. You will spend 4000 rupees at end of the month 3. Why we are discussing end of the month 3? Because we have been given monitoring status at end of month 3 and end of month 5. Okay, so you have got plant values now. Uh, this cost incurred is also provided to you. What is this?
Actual AC.
So this becomes actual cost. Now what else? What other value do you need? You need earned value. But before that, you have got actual cost. Let's plot it. What is it? 4500. So 4500 would be somewhere here. Uh, so what do you think? Are we overspending?
Yes, sir.
Hmm? Are we overspending?
Yes, sir.
See, that's one thing we discussed, that we should also know na, the earned value, because how we decide is earned value minus AC. So you have to calculate earned value first. So what is the earned value? So 90% of the activity A complete. So how much it would be for 2000? 1800. 20% of activity B. So 600. 25% of activity C. 1000. So what does your plant value, sorry, not plant value, earned value become?
1800.
No, 1800 plus 600 plus 1000.
Sir, what is this ABCD?
A, B, C, D are the activities. These activities.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what is the total earned value? Okay, you can think of it in different terms. Uh, you raise the running bill to the contractor, right? So you raise the running bill on the basis of the cost that you incurred, or the items you created, the items you completed according to the billing.
Sir, please repeat.
Yeah. Okay.
Sir, please.
Okay. So uh, you are a contractor. You are working on this project, uh, and it's not like that only after you complete the project you will get paid. You paid in installments also. So at the end of month 3, it is supposed to be your first installment. Now will the contractor pay you for the cost that you incurred, or for the works that you completed?
Sir, for the work that I've completed.
Yeah. So how much did you actually earn? Your earned value is how much you completed,
Yes, sir.
right? So this is what is shown in earned value, right?
Hmm.
So 90% of activity A complete, 20% B complete, 25% of C complete, and D not even started. So total earned value how much?
3400.
So now you see, if you if you present your running bill to the contractor, how much amount will you be claiming? 4500 or 3400, or you planned for 4000? How much will you bill? You can only
Sir,
ask him.
3400.
You can only ask him for 3400, right?
Yes,
Because
sir.
that's how much you delivered. So now let's plot it. 3400. So it would be somewhere around here. How much this was? 4500, 3400. And what is this? This is your earned value. So now if I ask you, can you tell me if you are ahead of the schedule or behind the schedule? You actually planned to deliver 4000 worth of work, but you delivered only 3400. So you are behind the schedule. So whatever work you have done is of only 3400, but you already spent 4500. So that means you are overspending, right?
Yes, sir.
So in this case, you are behind the schedule and overspending, cost overrun. By what values? So you have got the formula for schedule variance and cost variance. So in this, SV would be how much? EV minus AC or EV minus PV?
PV minus PV. SV.
Yeah, what would be schedule variance? Can you calculate it?
$600.
Okay. Schedule BCWP minus BCW is minus or plus?
So minus.
Yeah, I think we wrote the formula wrong here.
Yes, sir. It's PV.
Yeah, it's PV and it is AC.
AC.
Yeah. So SV would be EV minus PV and that gives you minus 600. And cost variance how much? Minus 1100.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, okay, good values. You are running behind, okay, bad values actually. Now let's calculate it for end of the month 5 also. We have got AC, you only need to calculate EV, right? So 100% of A done, so 2000, 70% of B done, how much? 2100, 3600 for C and 700 for D, right?
Yes, sir.
So how much does it come out?
8400. 8400.
Okay, so 8400. And what was plant? Plant was 8800. So some now if you calculate for EOM5, EV minus PV earned value is how much? 8400 minus plant value is
Minus 400.
8800, right? So minus 400. And what is the cost variance? EV minus AC. So EV is 8400 and cost spent is 8500, so minus 100. So again you are both running behind the schedule and already overspent. Now the question to you guys is, just by looking at this data, can you comment if your overall project would be cost overrun or time overrun? Can you comment on the overall project status?
It is over budgeted.
See, right now the example is in front of you. By month 3, you had overspent by 1100. By coming to month end 5, your overspend is only about 100. So, towards the end, do you think you will save money or finish it on in budget or overspend? Can you comment on this? See, if you can't, we will find a way to comment. But if you can, you tell me. Yeah. So can you comment or not? A simple question. Or let me rephrase. Calculate uh, estimated cost at completion. Simple enough. Now you tell me, can you calculate it or not? Or if you can, how will you calculate? Okay, if you look at month 3, you know that you are overspending. If I ask you to calculate, okay, let me talk UN3. Your earned value was 3400 and actual cost was how much? 4500. So what was the remaining? Okay, remaining work to be done was how much? So it would be 10,000 minus 3400. Okay, guys, agreed or not? Oh, let me repeat. At the
Sir,
end of
this
Yes,
ten
sir.
thousand is the
yeah,
this 10,000 is the cumulative sum, na?
yeah, this is the cumulative sum,
Okay, sir. Yeah, yes, sir.
right?
Hmm.
So you can say that from earned value, you know that you have delivered work worth 3400. That means you have to deliver 6600 more.
Yes, sir.
Now, if I ask you, what will be the total cost estimated for project completion? What would be now at the end of month 3? Does your estimate change? You will be like,
Af-
okay, yeah,
After completion of third month, estimate is now 6,600.
no, this is not the
Is it?
estimate. This is the remaining work to be delivered at the previous baseline.
Okay.
Okay, let me draw it for you. Okay, so this is your actual cost now that has increased. Your work performed has decreased. So, towards the end of month 6, where will your actual cost go? Will it increase? And what about time? Will time also increase? That is the question. Okay, so this is going to be a schedule variance. I mean, increase in time. If you project it, this is the actual one that you measured right now, and this is going to be your increase in cost, and this will be your increase in time, right? So if somebody asks you to extrapolate these points from actual cost and earned value, that extrapolation we are doing. Okay, so calculate estimated cost at completion. Now there are multiple options in front of you. Either you can say ki even while performing the work worth 3400, we overspend by 1100. That means for the remaining work in the same ratio we will go on overspending. Can you say that? अरे 3 महीने काम करने में ही हमारा अगर एक्स्ट्रा खर्चा हो जा रहा है, तो हम कह सकते हैं ना कि 6 महीने काम खर्च करने में उससे डबल खर्चा हो जाएगा, उस रेशियो में एक्स्ट्रा खर्चा हो जाएगा. और नॉट.
Yes, sir.
या फिर कैन वी डू वन थिंग, वी विल से कि 3 महीने में तो हमने एक्स्ट्रा खर्चा कर दिया, वी विल कंट्रोल इट सच दैट रिमेनिंग वर्क कंप्लीट्स इन द बजटेड कॉस्ट. कैन वी से दैट? Because you are the manager, so you have to plan for it, you have to make the team work. We can do that, right?
Yes, sir.
So obviously there are different ways to calculate it, but हमारे केस में we'll be using the scenario कि we calculate yeah, CPI, cost performance index, and how much is it? Budgeted cost of work performed. What is the cost of work performed? Earned value.
Yes, sir.
And actual cost of work performed is how much?
Yes, sir.
4500. So what is this? So CPI is a if it is less than 1,
175.
yeah, so over budget, and greater than 1, under budget. So one way of calculating estimate at completion, okay, so it would be अभी तक कितना खर्चा कर दिया, AC3 प्लस कितना और बाकी है, will make sure that we don't overspend. Okay, actual cost कितना होगा, actual estimated completion, actual cost plus
Remaining work.
estimate to complete remaining work.
Yes, sir.
And the only question is, how do you calculate this work? Let us call it uh, EOC. Okay, so EAC is equal to actual cost plus estimate to complete. This actual cost you know for each time. How you calculate this? Okay, EOC doesn't sound good. ETC. Yeah. How do you calculate this? Either you can say कि जो हमारा planned था, okay. So option 1 is you जो planned था उतना ही हम खर्च करेंगे. Option 2 is calculate estimates again. Estimate again. Or another option is extrapolate. Are you guys getting how these options are coming?
Yes, sir.
So in this case, what would you like to, which way would you like to go? Option 1, 2 or 3?
Option 1.
Yeah?
Option 1, sir.
Option 1 because it is easier. I mean, you can directly calculate it, right? 4500 plus 6600.
Because we have to go on track again, as well, as we are overspending.
Okay, so you can try for it. So let me write it down. Okay, option 1, what would be the value? It would be 4500 plus 6600. How much? 111.
Triple one, sir. Triple one double zero.
Yeah, 11100. What about option 3? Because option 2 is like somebody says that we can complete the remaining work in 7000 rupees. So you will be like, okay, let's add 7000 to it, and it would be how much? If you can complete remaining work in 7000 rupees.
11,500.
So 11,500. So option 3, if you have to interpolate it, what was the CPI?
0.75.
So 0.75, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So option 3, you extrapolate it. Extrapolate it. So what was your budgeted cost? By CPI, budgeted cost was 10,000 by 0.75. How much will it be? 13,500 something? 13,600?
13,333.
13 triple?
3.
Okay. Um, yeah. So you saw what we did. We said that if by month 3 we are overspending by 1100 rupees, so overall by completing the whole work we will overspend by 3300. We extrapolated it. Understood? Okay, have you understood this point?
Please repeat one more time.
Okay, repeating. So let's do one thing. We will repeat this calculation for month 5. Yeah?
Yes, sir.
Okay. EOM 5. What is your plant value? Plant value is 8800.
8,800.
What is your earned value? 8400.
8,400.
What is your actual cost? 8500.
8,500.
Yeah. So this is end of the month 5. What is the remaining work? So EV of remaining work, what is it? So 10,000 minus 8,400. Now, if I ask you, what is your estimate to complete? That is the question, right? Estimate at completion. So EAC, what is the actual spent till now? Plus estimate for remaining work. Estimate for remaining work. Now this actual cost is fixed because you already know that you have spent 8,500. Now if I ask you what is the estimate for remaining work, you can say that I will control it. I will only spend what was planned. Okay. So whatever be the cost spent till now, I will make sure that I don't exceed the budget for the remaining work. Okay. And you say you control it there. What is the option 2? You ask somebody else, you ask your estimators, engineers to work on it and find out that the remaining work in what cost can it be done. Okay. So that person says that remaining work I can complete it in 1550. Okay, it can also happen. Or you say that till now you have spent some money extra, so by the same ratio you can extrapolate. So if you extrapolate, what can you say? That till now for how much were you overspending? This much. This is the ratio into what is remaining, 1600. Can you calculate it? What will this be?
1,581.
Okay. No, it cannot be
No, sir,
less.
I made it wrong. I made it wrong. 1 minute, sir.
Yeah.
1619.
Okay, so 1619.
Hmm.
So now, if you take any option, you can say that okay, if the same overspending continues, 1619 by option 3, how much does it come out to be?
10119
How much?
total.
1 1?
10119.
No. Okay, 10119. Right. And previously, what formula did I give you? I gave you of CPI. If you calculate CPI also in this case, what will be the CPI? CPI would be 8400 by 8500. How much is it? 0.9882. And if you calculate EAC by budgeted cost by CPI, so 10,000 by 0.9882, how much does it come out to be? 10119. So you can see that it is same as extrapolation. Agreed? Is it clear now? Is it clear now? Okay. Can you guys raise a specific query or a specific doubt in this case? No doubts? So moving forward with next topic, but before that, for the persons who have joined a little late, we discussed earned value management uh, before. Do you have any queries related to any topic in this course? Any topic, any assignment question, or any session, any example from class? Any topic that you would like me to brief you again? Okay, so no doubts, we'll be moving with PERT. PERT is something that was developed by NASA. Full form is Project Evaluation and Review Technique. Uh, okay. Um Anybody who likes to write poems, who is a poet, or anybody who is a painter? Okay, any artist in class? Anybody? I'm not asking you to show your art. I'll be asking you basic scheduling questions only. Okay. Hmm. See, I am not going to believe that none of you is interested in arts. Okay. So one of you has to come forward. Painting, sketching, even cooking would work. I'm not talking about singing. Okay. Singing or dancing, no. Painting, sketching, writing, poetry, शेरो शायरी, वही ना. ये दुनिया तो रूमी की, हम तो उसमें बस जी रहे हैं. एंड आई एम नॉट गेटिंग एनी बडी. Okay, so let's say you have a painter. And he completes one drawing in 10 days. Do you think he will complete the next one in another 10 days?
Can't say.
Okay. Do you think he will complete the another painting in another 10 days? Yes or no? Okay. So it might be possible that for another painting he has got no other distraction. His color choices are perfect. He doesn't have to do some rework. Then he can complete it in 8 days also. Or he can do it in he can take 15 days also. Why? Because he doesn't like what he painted, so he crossed it off, he did it again. Or even he can do it in he can take 20 days also, because he is not in a mood to draw. Can it happen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sorry, I think the volume trouble is on my end. Can you speak louder?
Yes, sir, it can happen.
It can happen, right? So, if somebody asks a painter how much time will you take to complete the painting, what should he say? What should he say? Just this one example will give you the whole idea behind PERT. If you want the painter to complete a painting for you,
15 days
why 15 days?
average.
Okay. Average. Is it really the average? If you calculate? But you right now have only 4 paintings data, na? Let me give you. He also completed one in 5 days only. He completed another in 10 days, another in 12 days. Still, you would go for average 15 days. So what they did was they if this painter would have been a contractor for NASA would have been the client. So it would have asked, what is the earliest you can deliver? Okay. So he would have said that earliest I can complete it in 5 days. Okay. Then they would have asked, what is the max time you would take? So max he would have said that anyhow, if
10
you
days.
even if I am not in a mood, I will complete it in 20 days. So one thing is take the average of both these, but the distribution is not linear. So they ask one thing again, what is the most likely estimate from your side, from the painter side, that you would complete? So he says most likely he will complete it in 10 days. Okay. Now one thing you notice is that the number of painter is not changing. Total quantum of work is not changing. Right? What is changing? The duration is changing. Why is the duration changing? Because there are intangibles involved. The same thing can happen on site also. That uh, a wall has to be painted. The crew is same, but the productivity rate can change. It can be maximum. Like they want to go home, they are highly energetic, so they are rushing the job. Or the productivity can be low also. Like they just want to drag the job. Okay, they are not in the mood to do. You are forcing them and all other things. So work is same, crew is same, yet the duration can vary. So most of the time, what we were taking right now was duration was fixed, deterministic. Now there is some probability attached to it. Okay, so earliest, maximum, most likely. Now how to deal with it? Most likely time, the best estimate of time under normal conditions. So what probability distribution is used? from the previous example, if you take, uh, your minimum would be 5, okay, your average would be 10, and your maximum would be 20. So what kind of curve do you get? A skewed curve? Yeah, skewed, right? It is not towards the center, it is skewed. So we assume that it is going to be skewed beta distribution for activity durations. This is one objective. Like for activity duration, it is going to be beta distribution. So how do you calculate the expected time? You have been given 4 times, right? Optimistic, T pessimistic, and T most likely. So if you have to calculate estimated time, it would be TO plus TP by plus 4 TM by 6, okay, for beta distribution. Now let's try to apply it, okay, just this part, estimating part. A father node, this is like one of the famous templates from Waste and Levy book, Management Guide to CPM PERT. A father notes that when his teenage daughter uses the telephone, she takes not less than 6 minutes for a call, and sometimes as much as 1 hour. Calls of duration 15 minutes are most frequent than calls for any other duration. If the daughters call were an activity in a PERT project, estimate the call's expected duration. Okay, so what has been given to you? T optimistic, because the father wants her to keep the phone and, I mean, not talk much on the phone. So optimistic would be that she keeps the call in 6 minutes. What would be the pessimistic? She is not hanging up the phone. So 60 minutes. But on an average, what is most likely? 15 minutes. So if the daughter is picking up a call, receiving a call, father wants to know that, father wants to give one value to it, expected value. So what would it be? From the previous formula, 6 plus 60 plus 4 into 15 by 6. How much is it? 66 plus 60, right? So, sorry, 126 by 6. How much? 21 minutes. So the father can expect that she would keep the phone in 21 minutes. Right?
Yes, sir.
Now you saw one example also. How does this apply to construction? Uh, okay. We discussed deterministic and probabilistic, right? 2 words. What is the probability that her daughter would keep the call in 21 minutes? What is the probability attached to this value? Okay, what do you mean by probability? 11th, 12th topic, right? So what do you mean by probability? Okay, anybody?
Chances of occurrence.
Okay, chances of occurrence. So she just picked a call. What are the chances of her cutting the call in 21 minutes? So by the PERT definition, it is going to be 50%. Okay. So TE is 50%. Now what about rest of the values? So chances, that means you have to calculate standard deviation, variance. So what is the formula for standard deviation? TP minus T naught by 6. So what would be the variance? Variance would be sigma square. Okay, let's see how to use it. Project data is given to you. So the format is different now, IJ format, and in PERT, actually you would say that it is quite easier now for us to work with AON diagrams, right? Okay, after going through these 8 weeks of different diagramming methods, both AO and AON, which one do you like? Which method do you like actually? AOA or AON? Okay, so in this case I and J are given to you for each job. Let me name them: A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. So we will be working with AOA. What is the flow? So from node 1 you have got 2 and 6. From 2 you have got 3 and 4. Then 3, 4 is 5. And then 6 is 6 to 7. 5 to 8 and 7 to 8. Okay, so the network seems quite simple. 1, 2 and 6. From 6 you have got 7, and from 7 you have got 8. From 2 you have got what? 3 and 4. Right? So 3 and 4, and from 3 and 4 you have got 5,
5.
and from 5 you have got 8. This is the network diagram. Now to solve the network diagram you need one duration. So one duration, that means you have to calculate TE for each case. T expected. What would be the TE? You know the formula.
3 plus
So
15.
let's calculate it. What would it be? 3 plus 15 plus 24 by 6?
7.
7. Yeah. So can you help me calculate rest of the values? Okay, wait a minute. I do have these values. If you know how to calculate, I will just write it down for you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So 7, this is what? 1 to 6, no? 1 to 6 is 6. 2, 3, it comes out to be 14. 2, 4 is 5. Okay, let me write it down here itself. 7, 14, 5, 11, 7, 4, then these values 6, 11 and 18. So what is the critical path? You have to calculate it.
Yes, sir.
So if you calculate critical path, what would it be?
7.
Okay, just values on top would work for us, right? Uh, 0, 7, 7 and 14, 21, 21 and 11, or 7 and 5, 12, 12 and 7. So 21 and 11, how much?
32.
32, 32 and 4, or from this side 6, 6 plus 11, 17, 17 and 18, 35. So 35. So what is the critical path? This is the critical path. Okay, so the project network you draw, calculate the length you calculated, length of the critical path. What is the variance? So variance, you only need to be variance of critical path sigma square, but only of critical path. So what would it be for activity 1 6? uh, yeah, 14 minus 2 by 6 whole square plus for activity 6 7, what is it? 27 minus 3 by 6 whole square plus for activity 7 8, 28 minus 4 by 6 whole square. What does this come out to be? This is 2 square plus 3 square plus no, not 3 square, 4 square, right? So your sigma square for critical path is 36, and sigma would be under root 36 6.
6.
uh, okay. Doubt in seventh assignment sum. uh, just after we finish this one, we will take the doubts. Just one request, can you open the question beforehand? So now what you have got, you have got variance also, but did you see, for calculating the variance, we we were interested in only the critical path, only these three activities, right? 1 to 6. Okay, this won't look. Yeah, 1 to 6, 6 to 7, and 7 to 8. Now, what is the next question? What is the approximate probability that job on the critical path will be completed by due date of 41 days? What is your calculated duration for critical path?
35.
35 days. So, uh, do you really think that we should be worried if the job would be completed in 41 days or not?
No, sir.
But see, that is the point with PERT, na? 35 days is 50% probability. That's what we discussed. This probability is only 50%. If you take only TS, estimated time. So for critical path, you took only estimated time. So there is only 50% probability to complete in 35 days. So now what they are asking is, if the due date is 41 days, what would be the probability? So what is the formula for that? You need to calculate Z value. What is Z value? X minus X bar by sigma. So what is X? X is 41, X bar is 35, and what is sigma? 6. So what is Z value? 1.00. For 1.00, what is this? So probability is 84.13% to complete in 41 days. Now how many of you are lost here? कि ये क्या हो गया?
Sir, how to read the table?
Okay, how to read the table. So अब यहाँ पर है ना, there are a couple of small steps. First was activity distribution. What did we see? That we will assume it to be beta distribution. Okay. So this would be your TO, TP, and this will be your TM, and somewhere here it would come out to be T most likely. So if this is your left skewed, so similarly for some other activity, it could be right skewed also. And if you don't believe me, let's go back to the values here. Okay. So if you see 3, 9, 27, that means it is towards the optimistic side. Right is skewed. 1, 4, 7, that means it is on central. What about this? 20, 10, 4, 30. So this is your left is skewed. Can you see all these three? Or not? See, if you plot the curve for 3, 9 and 27, let me do it. Okay, 3 is somewhere here, 9 is somewhere here, and 27 is somewhere here. So it would be this kind of curve. This would be a little low. Okay, and if you take 4, 19 and 28, so 4, 19 and 28, so this would be right skewed.
Yes, sir.
Now there are going to be some curves that would be right skewed, some curves that would be left skewed. So if you add all these, there is one thing, central limit theorem. Okay. Central limit theorem. So after this, what you would say, some are left skewed, some are right skewed. So by central limit theorem, it would come out to be centrally skewed. And what is this curve for centrally skewed? This is normal distribution curve. So for whole project, it is going to be normal distribution curve. Are you guys familiar with normal distribution curve? Okay, so let's plot it. You have got some T optimistic here and T pessimistic here, and there is some. So what do you mean by T optimistic?
Earliest time.
Huh?
Earliest time.
Okay, earliest time. How? The best conditions, right? If you have
Yes, sir.
best conditions, very optimum situation, then and only then you can complete in TO. So is there any chance that you can complete before TO? I mean, if the
No, sir. No, sir.
no, right?
No.
So no chance. So 0% chance of completing before TO. What about TP? This is the time estimate in worst case. Agree?
Maximum.
So
Maximum time.
So that means you have 100% chance of completing after TP. If let's say if you are let's take this curve only 4, 19 and 28. If I ask you, can you complete it in 3 days? What chance you will give me? 0%. What about 29 days? You will say 100% chance because my pessimistic time is 28 only. What about 50%? 50% would be the T estimate, T expected, right? So what is the T expected in this case? 7, 8, 18 days. So 18 days, what is the chance? 50% chance. So that is your 100%. So what we are doing is we are taking area under the curve at this point. So T is 50%. Till here, if you add, this is 0% and this is 100%. So if I give you some value around here, what value was given to you? Let this be your x. So this is x bar. So if you have to calculate this area under the curve, what do you need? You need z value. So how do you get that z value? X minus x bar by sigma. How do you read it? You so z is like 1.00. So 1.0 and 00. So that gives you 0.8413. If your x bar would have been, let's say, what is the probability that you can complete it in 37 days? So 37 minus 35
37
by
minus
6,
35
this
by 6.
this would have been 0.333, right? So zero point 0.3 and this, so 0.33. So what would have been the percentage? It would have been 62.93. So now you know how to use the curve, how you
Yes,
know how
sir.
to use the graph.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so some points to remember. For activity, it is going to be beta distribution. For whole project, it is going to be normal distribution. You take the variance only for the critical path. Okay. Yeah, these remaining questions I will let it be for you. Uh, Before this, yeah, there was one doubt. Uh, yeah, can you point out which question? Can you read that question for me? Yeah, Miss Mansi. Are you still here? There is one doubt and discussion in chat box actually. Which question are you talking about? Uh, yeah, ma'am, can you point out to the exact question and your exact doubt? Uh, okay. Mm, yeah, I think let's try. If we can manage, we will do. There was a sum in seventh assignment. Okay, precedence diagram. Let me open it. Okay, can you tell your exact doubt? Yeah, this is the assignment number 7, and this precedence diagram is given to us. Hmm. Okay, so your answers are not matching. Give me a moment. Start float and okay, we will have to solve this, right? So let me bring it to the slides. That would make make the job a little easier. Okay, let's just read the question once. What has been given to us? We have been asked if the relationship is type is not mentioned, we have to assume FS. Then we have to calculate early start, early finish, late start, late finish. Uh, for activity C, if you check, okay, so this is continuous activity execution. We have to calculate start float, finish float, and total float, and relationship floats. Okay. Should I write ES, EF, LS, LF? Yeah. If you can give a couple of minutes, we can solve it definitely. That part we can do. Let me go back to the slides. Yeah. So this is the problem. Uh, what have we got? We have got six activities. Activity A duration is 5, and then you have got activity B with duration 6. Then you have got activity C with duration of 4. What about activity D? Then you have got activity D with duration of uh, 3 days. Then you have got the activity E,
14 days.
and duration of 2 days. And then you have got activity F with duration of 3 days. By the way, what is your mm, okay, you have given me the times, but that would be quite difficult to do in that manner. Two, and for B it is 0. I won't write 2. For BC, we have got BC. Then what about activity E? Activity C, and with activity D it has got finish 1,
Yes.
right? For activity F we have got this relationship. Have I marked every relationship?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's try to solve it. And it is continuous activity execution. You know the difference between continuous and interruptible, right? So continuous activity execution 0, 5. What about this? Either it could be 7 or 2. So it becomes 7 comma 8, and it could be 2 comma 1. So 2 and 8. Do I have a doubt here? Okay. No. Yeah. 2, 8. What about activity C now? It could be 8 and 4, 12. Only one relationship. Activity D, 2 plus 3, no, 2, or 8 plus 2,
10.
11, 11 minus 3, 8. So it would be 8, 8 and 11. What about activity E? It could be 12, or 11 plus 1, 12, 12 minus 2, 10. So it is going to be 12 and 2, 14. And so this could be 14 and 3, 17. Is the forward pass correct? Okay, so let's do backward pass. 17, 14. So what this value would be? Back arrow only one. So 14. What will this value be then? So 14, 14 minus 1, then this value comes out to be 13. Okay, it is continuous activity execution. So 12. So this would be 12. 12 minus 4, 8. In this case, 13, 13 minus 3, 10. So it would come out to be 8 from this side, right? So this is 2 again. What about activity A? So 0 and 5. Let me check it with the values you provided. Yeah, activity B, our times are different. And yeah, for activity B, our times are different. Can you check why? For activity D also, are they different? 7 and 10 and 10 and 13. 7 and 10, that means forward pass. Let's check. So forward pass, there is one way. From here, if you take, it would be 2, right? So if you use this relationship, it would be 2. What about this relationship? 8. 8 plus 2, 10,
Yes.
right?
10 minus 3
So
7.
yeah, so this value should have been 10,
Yes,
right?
sir. 10 and 7.
Yeah, so 10 and 8.
Sir, 7. 10 minus 3 7.
Yeah, 7. Okay, so 7 and 10. But for activity B, if you take the backward pass, what are your values in activity B? 8, 5 and 11. So now you can see why there is a variation, right? Because you have to take care of this relationship also. Okay, backward pass. So backward pass from the lastmost point, 17. 17 minus 3, 14. Now the arrow towards the tail we have to calculate, right? On the opposite direction. So 14, there is no lead lag. So 14 here, continuous activity execution. So 14 minus 2, 12 for this case. Now for this arrow, this is the head. So take it towards the tail. So 14 minus 1, 13. So 13, no other arrow coming in. So 13 minus 3, 10. Now for activity C, 12, one backward arrow, right? This point. So 12, so 12 ka 12. 12 minus 4, 8. Now you have got 8. And if you look at activity B, there are how many arrows? How many tails? 3 tails. So you calculate this value from each tail. What would be from this tail? It would be 8. From this tail, it would be 13 minus 2, 11. And from this tail, what would it be? So, so it would be 10, 10 plus 6, 16,
16.
right? So we have to take minimum value as it is backward pass. So minimum value is 8. So if minimum value is 8, so this becomes 8. So 8 minus 6, 2. Now for activity A, you have got 2 backward arrows coming in. You have to calculate late finish. So what would it be? It would be 8 minus 2, 6, or this is 2. So 2 minus 2, 0 plus 5. So 5. So which is the minimum value? 5. So you place 5 here. 5 minus 5, 0. Okay, is it clear now? Okay, so so now the question is to calculate different floats. So start float, finish float, you just subtract these values. This would be 3 3 0 0 0 0, and for total float, you know the formula. So 5 minus 0 minus, so for case of activity D, how much does it become? So 13 minus 7 minus 3, 3, right? uh, okay, now calculating relationship floats. So I will calculate a couple of values for you. Relationship float, you let me do it in black. For this, what would it be? Finish to finish relationship. So 14 minus 13, no, 14 minus 10 minus 1. So what would it be? 3. For this relationship, 10 minus 2, right? So 10 minus 2 minus 0, 8. Similarly, for this relationship, what would it be? 2 minus 0 minus 2, 0. For this relationship, okay, I am not. For this relationship, 12 minus 12 minus 0, so it is 0. For this relationship, 13 minus 8 minus 2, so 13 minus 8 minus 2, 3. Yeah, so can you follow relationship float also? Okay. Yeah, so any other doubt in any of the topics? Any other assignment problem? Yeah, welcome. uh, so any doubts, any questions till now? Okay, so what else of this topic remains is line of balance method, matrix based methods, and 4D BIM. uh, these are termed under latest developments. How many of you have heard of these terms? You have gone through the sir's lecture, so I know that you have heard of these terms, right? Okay, are you interested in knowing the latest developments or not? Because let me tell you, CPM, very old, PERT, 1950s, PDM, 1960s. So, okay, BIM is known. So, what is 4D BIM? So, I can tell you that earned value would have been quite newer, but newer in the sense 1970s. So, all the things that you studied till now have been like what say 50 years old at least. So, are you guys interested in learning about the latest developments?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, I would give you examples of these. There have been some other things also, like there is line of balance, then there is beeline diagramming. For all those who want to know these in detail, on my YouTube channel there is uh, okay, there is one course by Professor J. Umameshwari on scheduling techniques in projects. It will run in next semester. That is scheduling techniques in detail. So information driven scheduling. So you will find all the latest developments there. Now let's try to discuss this. Okay, LOB. I will give you one example very fast. Uh, what does this look like? Okay, I would name it. Does this look like a, I mean, rudimentary road to you? Okay, so what you have got is, if you have to make the road, then there are three activities. A. Excavation. B. Base layer. C. Top layer. Okay, so now let's suppose it is 10-kilometer road. Okay, so 10-kilometer road, excavation is I'm just giving you random values. Okay, uh, 500 meters per day. Base layer is 250 meters per day, and top layer is 1 kilometer per day. So if you were going by your normal CPM method, what would you have said? You would have said that activity A, then activity B, then activity C. What is the duration? So for total 10 kilometers, activity A will take 20 days, activity B will take 40 days, and activity C will take how much? 10 days. So what is the total duration of the project? 20, 40, 10, 70. But you can say that instead of going for 10 directly targeting 10 kilometers, okay, you could do in phases also. Like 1 kilometer you excavate, then 1 kilometer you do base level layer, and then 1 kilometer you do top layer. So this becomes a curve, like a chart like this. And so on. Can you agree? Can you see this happening or not? How I have divided into bifurcated. So let's say that instead of doing 10 kilometers, we do it in two parts of 5 kilometers each. So 5 kilometers means A1 will take 10 days, B1 will take 20 days, and C1 will take 5 days. Similarly, 10, 20, 5. If you analyze the network, do you think the duration would be still 70, or will it reduce, or will it increase? Now I am doing it in two parts.
Reduced.
It will reduce, right?
Yes.
By how much if you calculate? So 10, this would be 10,
35.
20, this would be 30, 30, 20, 50, right? So either it could be 30 and 5, 35, or 50 plus 5, 55. So 55 is the duration. You see, it is not divided by half. Or is it divided by half?
No, sir.
One thing you would have said that, okay, if I am to do it in two parts, one team will do one part, second team will do second part, but there is interrelationship also. Like base layer of second part can only be done after base layer of first part is over. So you see, it's not just dividing the duration by half, total duration by half, or completing just one part and getting the value. So now how to calculate these? This is the concept of line of balance method, and in that you can calculate more units also. Okay. Now one interesting thing is, you look at activity C. C1 is what? 30 to 35 in first case. and 50 to 55 in second case. That means you have to mobilize each and every resource for activity C twice, but you won't like that to happen. So where will you schedule it? You will schedule it such that,
50 to 55.
right, 50 to 45 towards the you would do backloading in this case for activity C, but for activity B you will do activity A and B you will do front loading. So how to decide when to do front loading, when to do backloading, what would be the exact schedule? We use LOB method. Did you guys get an idea of using line of balance method? Can you think of another example? Like let's say you have to make 10 towers. So 10 towers, for each tower 30 activities, 30 different teams. So in that case we have to use LOB method. I'm not going into the mathematical formulation, just showing you how it works. For that I also have like you can see ma'am's lecture and also problem solving session is uploaded on my YouTube channel. Okay, so one question to you guys. This arrow, what does this arrow represent? This is the last session and we have seen this arrow I think from the second session itself. What does this arrow represent? The relationship between these two activities. What does this represent?
Flow of activity.
Flow of activity. Is the activity flowing?
Finish to start.
Yeah?
Finish to start activity.
No, finish to start, that I understand. But okay, resource connection. Is the resource flowing here? I mean, no, there is no resource flowing here because activity A would be using excavator, activity B would be using rollers and dumpers and pavers. So resource is not flowing. There is some connection, there is some flow, but what is flowing?
Relationship between two activities.
Yeah, relationship is there, but if you have to imagine this relationship in a physical sense, what is this relationship?
A can be done after B.
Okay,
B
so you
can be
can
done after.
okay, B is dependent on A. Yeah, that part is clear. But physically, I mean on site, how can you visualize it? B ने A को ये A ने B को क्या दिया जब B को पता चला कि अब काम शुरू करना है? लोकेशन पर A कंप्लीट हो गया. Okay, labor. See, don't you think it's just the information that is being passed? That if it is finished to start relationship, that means अगर A finish हो गया, B immediately start कर सकता है. If A is finished, B can immediately start. So that means there is some
Yes.
information passage that A is complete. Now B, काम पर लग जाओ. Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, base to start the activity. So basic. So if this activity would have been software work or product launch or structural design work, you would have said that this is just like passage of information. If A gives information to B, that means B is ready to start. And I mean B is preceding, B is succeeding A. So this, whenever this information has to be modeled, one easier way to do is design a structure matrix based method. I am not going into detail at all. Like when we don't talk in terms of, see, everything can be told in terms of information only, right? Be it availability of labor, be it resources, be it that location is ready, or be it some parameter that has been planned or some design that has been complete. So all that is information. So the generalized case in case of information, you can delete with design structure matrix. When you have got multiple, if you have got relationship between activity and activity, it is good. If you have got relationship between activity and resources, or activity and different parameters, when the parameters itself change, you have got multi-domain metrics. Okay, this is on metrics. Now BIM, building information modeling. What is BIM? I think I discussed it in class, right, once. What is BIM? Okay, BIM is when your model itself contains the information that it has to convey. So 4D BIM is 3D model with all the information that you want plus timeline. It is being used for planning, safety planning, constructability, all those things. Yeah, so I'm not going into detail for all these. Any questions from your side? Okay. How many of you are still interested in seeing seeing the MSP software, Microsoft Project software?
Sir, I'm interested.
Okay. So you know that we will go over time.
Yes, sir.
It is acceptable, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So before that,
Sir, one
Yeah.
thing, I have a question.
yeah.
Sir, is there any contract management NPTEL online course available?
Okay, it is not on not specifically on contract management, but there is one course by Professor Sudhir Mishra and Professor K.N. Jha combined, Introduction to Accounting and Finance for civil engineers.
Sir, how it will relate to the contract management?
It has two
Like bidding
sessions.
contracts, CPWD contracts.
Yeah, it has 1.5 session on contract management.
Sir, can you please repeat the name of the professors?
Okay, the course is Introduction to Accounting and Finance by civil engineers. Sorry, Introduction to Accounting and Finance for civil engineers by Professor Sudhir Mishra and Professor K.N. Jha. And you will find the problem sessions already on my YouTube channel. Week 3 and week 4 have some contents about contract management.
Okay, sir.
That is like a very good course if you want to go into detail about economics, basically time value of money, to even bidding, to accounting and finance, like bookkeeping, depreciation. Each and everything has been dealt in detail there.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Any query? Any other question? So I don't think you guys will need any additional session, right? Doubt clearing session. Then this will be our last session, right? Okay. Do you guys think you can yeah, can you please suggest the next series of this course? Um, mm, Actually, can you elaborate what do you mean? Okay, upgrade level. So scheduling, if you want to specifically deal about scheduling, there is ma'am's Professor Umameshwari ma'am's course on scheduling techniques in projects. 4 weeks course. That can be that is a serious upgrade because we discussed scheduling. Then if you want to cover whole construction management, just the basics, each and every topic, then you have got Sudhir Mishra sir's course on Introduction to Accounting and Principles of Construction Management. So for overall principles of construction management, for scheduling specifically, scheduling techniques in projects. Okay, can you guys turn on your mics and let me know how were these sessions for you? I have been spending 2 hours per week just in front of you, and behind that, it has taken me more than that time. So, how
Very
were these
informative session.
sessions? Yeah?
Very much informative, sir.
Okay. Did you enjoy it?
Yes, sir, a lot.
Uh, okay. What about others?
Yes, sir, we enjoyed it.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Sir,
So,
this introduction to, excuse me, sir.
yeah.
Sir, this introduction to accounting and finance, that course is not a certification course, no?
No, they are certification course only.
Sir, but in NPTEL,
No,
I have
it is
searched.
not. It is not this semester. It will run next semester.
Okay,
Yeah, I mean
but
not.
we can have all the videos.
Yeah, the videos are available right now. Also, I don't think it would be available right now because the course
No,
will.
sir, it is available. It is available in archive.nptl.ac.in.
Okay. Yeah, so recorded lectures are available, but
Hmm.
the course will run next semester.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Same for scheduling techniques. I mean, I'm not so sure because the professor was interested in, I mean, upgrading the course. Uh, yeah. So, MSP, I know it is already 8 p.m. Yeah, I need to have. Yeah, that's me in real life also. Lots of patience. Thank you. Uh, so let me bring MSP. We will try not to divulge much. Which software uses 4D BIM? 4D BIM. Okay, the primarily you can use it in Navisworks. If you're using Autodesk, then Navisworks. Then there is Synchro Pro, that is like proprietary software for 4D BIM. But if you are talking about clash detection and all, so Navisworks is the best. These two should be enough for you. I mean, these two should work well. Um, okay, so can you see the screen? Mm, yeah, can you see the MSP screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Uh,
yes, sir.
okay, so it is Microsoft software. It used to be a part of Office, but I don't think it is available now. Uh, the screen, you can see that it is very similar to what you have been working with uh, MS, I mean Word or PowerPoint, Excel. Okay, so first things first, when you have got a new project, you define it, info, go to info, you change, give the project information. What is the current date? So best way to do it is, okay, yeah. So you can change the project information here, general information, summary, who is creating, who is the manager, what is the company, statistics. Okay. Similarly, if you go into options, you can change different things like what is your default view. We have Gantt chart with timeline, date format, uh, what should be your currency, what should be your placement. Then in scheduling, what should be your default start time, end time, hours per day. You can see all these, right? So your work starts from here, from defining your project itself. So what I'm doing is I am doing auto scheduling. Like as soon as I add the activity, it schedules it on its own. Okay, rest of the things I'll show you here only. Okay, it didn't happen. So what do you have? You have tasks. Give me some tasks very fast, or I will just put it. Okay, so you have task A. Then what should be its duration? Duration 3 days. Then you have got task B, duration 5 days. Task, okay, let's forget it. Let's not give the durations first. Okay, you have got tasks. Now you can say that okay, giving the durations, one way is do this way. From the duration tab you add on increasing the duration, it will apply it and you can see its effect on the chart itself, right? Or the another way is you double click on the task name, task information is here, you change it, increase the duration, add the predecessors, resources. Okay, so two ways you got to know both. I'm just going to give this information. Now it may happen that activity B and C are B and C are actually subparts of activity A. Can it happen?
Yes, sir.
Right. So you can intend it. See what happened now? Like same for activity so now what you have got is similar, in the similar manner you can plot work breakdown structure. Got an idea of work breakdown structure? Or another thing you can do is let me, yeah, A1, A2, B, B1, B2. Similarly, while typing itself, C, C1, C2, C3, D. Now what you see is that C and D are coming as a part of activity B only.
Yes, sir.
So activity, click on activity C and activity D, back intent them. So now they have become the bigger activities. Give the duration, you know how to give it. 2, 3, I'll just give them randomly. 3, 4, 5. Okay, this is not supposed to be 5. 3, 2, 1, 4, 5. Okay, so now activities are there. You can see the milestones. What do you need? Relationships. हम अभी तक सभी चीज़ों में रिलेशनशिप से काम करते हैं, right? That is not given yet.
Yes, sir.
So what is the way to give relationships? Click on the predecessor, click on the successor, both are selected, link activities, link the selected task. So now they have been linked, right? The same thing if you want that every relationship is successive only, like CD, C1, C2, C3, you can do for these three also. Like what I'm doing is I'm clicking them from the Gantt chart, bar chart, and see. But you tell me that these 4 activities are part of only one project only, right? So You need to add uh, project task also. Wait a minute. Where's the option? I can't see it right now. Yeah. Okay, I will come back to that. Now that is one way of adding relationship. What you can see is that when you added relationships, it is showing you predecessors, but predecessors as numbers. What numbers? These numbers,
Yes, sir.
right? So what are these numbers actually? So you can insert column. Wait a minute, do you really need this? Okay, without that also we can work. Now you saw just a small example of how to add relationships, how to modify the relationships. The same way, double click it, predecessors, A1, it is not, if it is finished to start, keep it the same, start to start, give it the lag. Okay. So okay, it has changed now. Similarly for each activity, you can go like this. Activity B, what should, let's say activity A2 must complete and it can start on the same day. What about activity B2? It has A2 should complete and B1 start to start and one day. So see, both the relationships are here for activity B2. Activity A2 should complete and B2 start to start. C1, it can let's say as soon as activity B starts, okay, start to start with B, but one day of lag. So now you have got, what about, but you can even have finish to finish relationships also. Just I'm giving lags for fun. Okay, so even if there is a negative, I mean if there is lead, you can see it, right, how the bar chart has changed. Similarly activity D, we have not gone into that. So once activity C is complete, it is finished to start with a lag of 3 days. And activity D is activity D finished to start. Okay, so you have got it now. If you want to see everything on one single timeline, see, this is the timeline of your project starting today and ending at 4th of October 23. This is how scheduling happens, auto scheduling. Now one other thing that we learned was resources. Okay, or okay, just showing you the network diagram. This is the network diagram right now. So you can find the duration, you can find the IDs, start to finish, start and finish dates here. Going back to Gantt chart view, One other thing that we discussed was resource leveling, right? So
Yes.
resources, that means we have to put resources in each case. Going to resource sheet, uh, one resource worker, type of resource work, uh, this is maximum. So same thing, double click on it and you can determine, you can give all the inputs like what is the cost, any other notes, any custom fields, or generally like how many workers are available when. So you say that 10 workers are available full time. Okay, it is decided now. What you have to do now, for each activity you have to assign the resource. Best way is to select the resource here, but then you also have to give the value how many workers. So double click the activity, double click the activity name, resource name, you pick it, worker, how many units, let's say 4 units for activity A2. Okay, so this is like one small point I would show you. 4 workers and 6 workers, total is 10 workers, and we know that from resource sheet that maximum is 10 workers. As soon as you increase any worker here, right here, okay, let's increase it to 5. Mm, okay, is there any resource allocation issue now? Not yet. What about activity C? Let's give the workers to activity C. Resource name worker, assigned 6 workers. See what happened. Activity A moved. Right? When was activity A starting? This was the case. Activity A was also starting with activity C, but as soon as you allot more resources, it moves. Do you know why? See, there is auto scheduling. We have applied auto scheduling, right? So, as soon as you give resources to C more than that is available, like worker 5 units, okay, still it is the same, it can start, but as soon as there is some over allocation, it is shifting, right? So because we have done automatic auto scheduling, it is happening like this. Otherwise what you have to do is you have to go to resource and level all. Okay, this is the case. Okay, just a minute. How many of you I have lost because I am going at the very fast pace? Okay. How many are lost? What is happening? Okay, this was the initial case. Now what is it showing you is that,
Over location.
yeah,
Over allocation.
yeah. So this info bar is telling you that these activities have been over allocated. So what you can do is either you can do it on your own, level the resource, or you can do it automatically. So level all, you know the way we did it, right?
Yes, sir.
Uh, so this is the way Microsoft project actually schedules and manages the resources.
So by labeling all, by clicking the labeling label of all option, the
Yeah.
duration is increases, na sir?
Overall project duration has do you think it has increased? It was already finishing at 4th of uh, August, October only, na?
October. Yes, sir.
Right? And still now, if you level all, it is still finishing at 4th of October only.
Yes, sir.
So no, it has not increased.
So, but when there is a resource constraint, then we have to increase the duration.
Yeah, yeah, we have to increase it, but in this case, it is not increasing.
Okay.
So simple examples. Anything you would like me to show specifically?
So please come to the resource sheet.
Okay, resource sheet. Yeah.
Uh, so resource uses in the view option.
Uh, 1 minute. Where?
View
Yeah,
resource usage.
yeah.
So what is this 48 hours, 40 hours?
Okay. So our basic unit that we selected was hours, right? In info.
Hmm. Hmm.
Like if I go to the info, where it should be in general itself, right? Yeah, hours per day is 8. We selected that our work would be 8 hours per day.
Yes, sir.
So now, if you have assigned them 6 resources, so how many
6
man
eights are
hours?
48.
How many
6
man hours
eights are.
have been worked? Yeah.
Yes, sir. 6 eights are 48.
So similarly, this was 5. So 5 into 8.
40.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Sir, can you please update the project like
Uh,
percentage complete if possible?
okay. I mean, all those items. Actually, the problem with us is that we have not given enough information, right?
Hmm.
Like, um, even we haven't determined the scope of work for each activity. We just gave them the durations, and that's why even if I change the uh, like even if I change the work resource level for each activity, it shows the error, right?
Yes,
Because
sir.
we have not given a lot of information. What information would be needed? See, just if you have to mark these things, you can directly use these points. But I don't think with I don't think we have given them enough information. Okay, with this information, I don't think we can update it.
Okay, sir.
But see, I only wanted to point out one thing was that this software is very I mean, you can use your intuition each and every place. You know how to do intents, how to take it out. So you know how to place the WBS. You know how to give the duration. You know how to give the resources. So all the basic operations, if you can do, then this software will guide you on what to do next. That one thing you can do. Uh, main thing is about being familiar with double clicking the task name and using these steps. So tasks you can manage like this, and similarly you can manage the resources. One big thing is about creating the reports, but I'm not going into that. Any theoretical or any discussion question from any discussion point of view from these softwares, MSP or Primavera?
No, sir.
Okay, so it's already nearing 8:30, so I am stopping it here. I'll go back to slides. So there is one question from my side. I mean, you did the whole course. I'm talking about the course. Uh, how did you really feel that enough weightage, enough time was given to these topics, the scheduling part? Because in NPTEL itself, you have seen courses of 12 weeks also, right? So was 8 weeks sufficient time? Was 8 weeks a sufficient time for all these topics?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, that's good to know. So, this brings us to the end of this session and all these sessions. Uh, Thank you very much for joining. Thank you very much for listening to me.
Thank you
Uh,
so much, sir. Thank you so much.
yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Hopefully, this will be helpful, and whatever your expectations was, I fulfilled them to some extent.
Surely, sir. Surely, it will. Surely, it will.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. One selfish thing. If you can spare a minute, just go to YouTube to give my channel a like or subscribe. I know it doesn't count for me anyway, but YouTube would like it.
Sir, I've already subscribed.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Signing off.
Bye, sir.
Bye.